Hey guys, I just finished Eve by Carey, and it is going to get a 5-star rating from me. I'll read the synopsis, I guess. It says, 16 years after a deadly virus wiped out most of Earth's population, the world is a perilous place. 18-year-old Eve has never been beyond the heavily guarded perimeter of her school. But the night before graduation, Eve learns the shocking truth about her school's real purpose and the horrifying fate that awaits her. Fleeing the only home she's ever known, Eve sets off on a long, treacherous journey searching for a place she can survive. Along the way, she encounters Caleb, a rough, rebellious boy living in the wild. Separated from men her whole life, Eve has been taught to fear them, but Caleb slowly wins her trust and her heart. He promises to protect her, but when soldiers begin hunting them, Eve must choose between true love and her life. Now, I'm going to say this straight off the bat. What I loved was that the choice wasn't exactly made, like straight away or anything like that. It was right at the end where she had to choose. And I really liked that to start off with, because I loved that part. I also love the premise. I obviously haven't read too many dystopian novels, not for lack of not having any, but I just haven't really picked any of mine up. I was kind of thinking of maybe doing a dystopian month, but then again, you don't want to read too many after each other. If you're like me, it just would ruin the experience. But I really enjoyed Eve. I actually really liked her character until she started becoming a little bit too selfish. She's very naive and just very sheltered, and that's not really her fault. That's due to conditioning and the school that she's in. Even when she gets out of the school, she takes a long time to actually understand that it's not really all for one as much as she would like to believe. There's some people out there who not only just obviously the people hunting her, but there are other people out there that would, it's fit for survival, and I don't think she really realised that sometimes, and sometimes I just want to whack her over the head and say, look, bitch, wake up to yourself. You're not the only person in the world, okay? The king obviously has plans for her, and everyone else, so she's not the only one who has to suffer or has suffered. And I think that was probably one of the things that really sort of got to me. Like, I don't think she was whining about it, of course, but I didn't really need to hear it like 7,000 times. But I got over that very quickly because the story was so fast paced. I wanted to just read it all in one sitting, and I probably could have, but also at the same time it was one of those books where I just wanted to take my time with it, concentrate, really absorb what was happening. And it wasn't a slow book. The chapters are pretty short, and the characters are engrossing, every one of them. The villains, the good guys. There wasn't really anything that bothered me about it. To tell a little lie, at the end I was kind of confused, but kind of redeemed itself a little bit. Just, if you read it, you'll probably understand. It's like, well, okay, why would you do something like that, or where did you get that from? But the ending was just really, really good. I saw it coming in the last few pages, and it might be just because I'm slow, but I didn't really see it actually coming. It didn't register my brain, but I understood what she would have to do, but I didn't, think that would happen. So, I must be sounding so confusing at the moment, but really, you have to read the book to understand what I'm saying, and it is one of those books that is worth the read. Like, really, for me, it was worth the read. I don't know why I waited so long, but it was definitely worth the read. I loved Arden as well. She was my favourite character, I think, out of the whole thing. mainly because she kind of got that whole fit for survival thing and things like that. But I liked how she progressed as a character. I like how, she was such a bitch, and then, she was still a bitch halfway through the novel as well. But you could see that from having a friend and getting to know people and living life her way, even if it was troublesome, it really started to, change her. It takes a long time for people to change, but I think it was progression, and that's what I love to see when I read books like this. I like to see progression, even in dystopian. The world is like a shit place. The world is kind of like a shit place now. Like, there's so many just horrible people and horrible things happening, and yet we still survive and we still progress, and that's the most important thing to survive, I think. You can't be too set in your ways, especially when things like this. So I really enjoyed that part of the book. Caleb, the love interest, and I don't think there's too much romance in this book. And for me, it wasn't over the top, which was a change, because I was just hoping that I wouldn't have to read something that was saturated with it. I was in the mood for something really fast-paced and easy to read, and but intense at the same time, if that makes sense. And it was what I wanted. Action-packed, I guess. So yeah, Caleb was... I had a vision in my head, but I still think... I don't know, I'm still set on the sidelines. I did like him at the same time. I thought he was like a really nice guy, but I don't know. I don't love him as much as the other people. But yeah. So definitely pick up this book. I know a lot of people have been wanting to read it and hear about it, so here's my review. I would have picked it up eventually, but I watched Richard Denny's review on it, and I was like, yep, I really do need to read this book. It sounds really good. There is also another book out, it should be published next year, but I already have it for next year, Under the Never Sky, and it has a very similar premise. So I probably won't read it in January, but I do want to read it at some point. I have a lot of dystopian books, but I want to space them out, because like I said before, you don't want to be reading like 3 of the same kind of things or similar sounding things in the same time, but some people might. Anyway, I'm rambling, and this has gone off way too long. So definitely check out Eve by Carey. I cannot wait until Once comes out in July, which will be around my birthday, and I love the cover. It is just so pretty. That's another thing about this. I love this cover. These are some of my favourite colours. So, and Once has purpley pink stuff, and that's my second favourite colour. So definitely cover love there. But yeah. So if you have read this book, let me know what you thought of it, and yeah, there will be a link to my blog where I actually talk about it a little bit more, and a little bit more detail. Check it out. If you're not one to check out blogs, I don't mind, but from now on, I think, unless I really like a book, like 5 stars, I'll be putting everything on my blog, including the 5-star review. But yeah. So, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And if I look tired, I am tired. I'm very sleepy at the moment. It's really hot here. Very hot in Australia. So, okay.